Hey, what's going on? Kerry Sullivan here with another How to Kick Ass in Sales. And as you can see today, there's something different about me. That's right, I got a new haircut. No, I'm dressed up a little bit differently here. And the reason is I was just giving a webinar with all kinds of entrepreneurs. But hey, I want to just get into something that happens in sales all the time. And sales professionals, a lot of the time, they get hung up on price. Right? They get all hung up on price. And there's a few ways that you can get around this. So number one is that if you are hung up on something and you think that is an issue, it's going to come out when you are doing negotiations. That's just the way it works. It's kind of the mysteriousness of a life, if you will, and just that kind of energy you put out, it's going to come back to you, right? Whatever energy you put out, again, it's going to come back to you. So if you have that hang up thinking, oh, this product costs a lot or this service costs a lot, and if that's your biggest hang up about selling it, it's going to come back in your face every time. So convince yourself that that is not the issue. The other thing is that people do not buy based on price. They do not. They buy based on what you can do for them and how you can solve it. I'm going to tell you a story because over the weekend, I almost lost my dog. She ate a bird and she got all kinds of feathers stuck in her stomach and she got really, really sick. So I brought her to the vet and the vet says to me like, hey, this is going to cost a lot to fix this. And it was a situation where, look, if it wasn't going to be fixed, I was going to lose my dog. And she's everything to me. I love my dog to death, right? So I didn't care. I was like, I don't care what it costs. Just do it, take care of it. And you know, when you think of like times where maybe you lost a loved one or whatever in that situation, you're feeling that kind of pain or in wherever it may be, you would do anything to get that person back. And Grant Cardone gave that example of losing a loved one. I heard him talking about that the other day. And it's so true. You would do anything in that moment to get that person back. Maybe you would throw whatever money at it. You would do whatever it takes. You would walk across, you know, broken glass for 50 miles, you do whatever it takes, right? It's the same thing in sales. If you show someone and convince them how you are going to help them and you show them how it's going to cost them more not to do business with you. Again, it's about showing them how it's going to cost them more not to do business with you than to do business with you, right? So, and it's not always money. It might not be something where you can show it's an ROI thing. It might be an emotional thing as well. So you're going to be able to solve, you know, them having to deal with all kinds of frustration or pain or whatever it may be. Okay. So just really figure out, ask the people questions about why they're looking to do business with you, what kind of service or what, you know, product or whatever it may be, why do they want that, and figure out what it's going to do for them or what they want it to do for them, right? And how it's going to solve that problem. So, and if it can solve that problem and get it done, they'll pay whatever it takes to really get that product or service in their hands if it's going to solve X, Y, and Z. So don't get caught up. So let me just recap here just so you understand and get a good feel for what we're talking about here. So number one, if you go into a deal and that is your number one hang up, it is the price, that energy that you put out there, it's going to come right back to you. So sit down and convince yourself, write down all the reasons why your product and or service is awesome and why it is worth every cent, and even go a next step further and write down why it is an absolute steal. All right, write down why it's an absolute steal, and people will be absolutely crazy not to go in and get your product and or service. Because when you have that kind of conviction about what you are selling, you're able to do it a lot more. The other thing is really just figuring out what it is that your product is going to solve for the individual and or business, their specific needs, right? So whatever that may be, just show them how it's going to cost them a lot more in terms of money, emotion, pain, whatever it is, not to get involved with you than to get involved with you. Right? You know, just make that really clear, figure out how frustrated they are around what their current situation is, and then just show them how you're going to solve it and go from there. So again, just think of the example with my dog. In that situation, I was going to do whatever it took to get out of that situation and pay for it. So that's it. I will see you guys in the next How to Kick Ass in Sales. People do not buy based on price. And the last thing I will say to you today, if you like this, subscribe to it. Feel free to share it. And I love to see your comments below, and feel free to ask me any questions you got. So that's it. I will see you on the next How to Kick Ass in Sales. Bye-bye. High five.